My beloved child. Pause for a moment and listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. There is a reason you found this message today. There is a reason your eyes stopped here. And there is a reason your heart feels like something important is about to unfold. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For a long time, you have wondered what this person truly thinks about you. You have questioned the silence. You have replayed moments in your mind. You have searched for signs, looked for clues, and tried to understand what was hidden beneath their words, their actions, and even their distance. But today, something changes. Today is about what was finally revealed. Not through noise. Not through pressure. Not through anyone forcing a conversation. But through a moment that arrived naturally, unexpectedly, and powerfully. Your person finally shared their thoughts about you. And what happened next was not what anyone expected. Stay with me, because the deeper truth has not been revealed yet. There was a moment when your name entered a conversation. It happened quietly. No dramatic entrance. No announcement. Just a simple mention that opened a door. And the moment that door opened, something surprising happened. The energy changed. The atmosphere shifted. The attention moved toward you. Your person could have said very little. They could have changed the subject. They could have remained neutral. But they didn't. Instead, they paused. And that pause said more than words ever could. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Because sometimes the most important truth is not spoken immediately. Sometimes it rises slowly, like a sunrise appearing over a distant horizon. Your person began sharing what they noticed about you. Not what others told them. Not what they assumed. Not what they imagined. What they personally observed. The way you carry yourself. The way you continue moving forward. The way you remain yourself even when circumstances try to change you. And as they spoke, people listened. Why? Because their words were genuine. There was no performance. There was no exaggeration. There was simply honesty. And honesty carries a power that cannot be ignored. The conversation continued. One thought became another. One memory unlocked another memory. One observation opened the door to many more. Suddenly, your person was saying things they had kept inside for longer than anyone realized. They spoke about qualities that stood out. Qualities that many people overlook. Qualities that cannot be purchased. Qualities that cannot be copied. Qualities that make a person unforgettable. And the strange thing is, you may not even realize how strongly those qualities affect people around you. Stay till the end. Because the biggest revelation has not arrived yet. There are moments when people enter our lives and leave a temporary impression. Then there are rare moments when someone leaves a lasting impact. Your person finally admitted that you belong to the second category. Even when you were not present. Even when attention was elsewhere. Even when life became busy. The memory of you remained. Not because of perfection. Not because of status. Not because of appearances. But because something about your presence stayed with them. Something real. Something meaningful. Something difficult to explain. And that is where the story becomes even more interesting. Because once your person began speaking honestly, they found it difficult to stop. Thoughts that had remained hidden started surfacing. Observations that had been stored away started returning. Memories that seemed distant suddenly felt close again. It was as if a door had been opened inside their heart. And once opened, the truth wanted to be heard. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine a person carrying a message for a long time. Not because they wanted to hide it forever, but because they were waiting for the right moment. The right atmosphere. The right opportunity. The right understanding. That is what this felt like. A moment that had been waiting quietly in the background finally stepped forward. And when it did, something became very clear. You have been noticed more than you realize. You have been appreciated more than you know. And you have been remembered in ways you never expected. As the conversation continued, another surprising detail emerged. Your person spoke about consistency. Not dramatic moments. Not rare events. Consistency. The way you continue showing up. The way you keep going. The way you remain grounded. The way you continue becoming who you are meant to be. These were the things they remembered. These were the things they respected. And these were the things that stayed in their mind long after conversations ended. But wait. Because what happened next changed everything. Someone asked a simple question. A question that seemed ordinary. A question that seemed harmless. Yet the answer revealed something powerful. The answer revealed that your person thinks about you more often than most people would imagine. Not constantly. Not obsessively. But consistently enough that your presence remains meaningful. And that realization surprised everyone. Because it came directly from them. No guessing. No assumptions. No interpretation. Just truth. And truth carries weight. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the discussion unfolded, your person described something that many people spend their entire lives searching for. Authenticity. They explained that there is something genuine about you. Something that feels rare in a world where many people wear masks. Something that feels refreshing. Something that stands out. And when those words were spoken, the room became quiet. Because everyone understands the value of authenticity. It cannot be manufactured. It cannot be faked forever. It either exists or it doesn't. And according to your person, it exists within you. That was one of the thoughts they finally shared. But there is still more. Much more. Because beneath every spoken sentence was an unspoken realization. A realization that became stronger as the conversation continued. The realization that your impact has been greater than you think. Sometimes people underestimate themselves. Sometimes they fail to see their own influence. Sometimes they focus so much on what is missing that they overlook what is already present. Your person's words revealed exactly that. They revealed that your presence has mattered. Your character has mattered. Your energy has mattered. And your story has mattered. Don't skip. The most important part is still ahead. Because near the end of this conversation, something happened that nobody expected. Your person stopped speaking for a moment. Not because they ran out of words. Not because they lost their thoughts. But because they realized something. A realization so simple and yet so powerful that it changed the entire atmosphere. And that realization is the beginning of what comes next. What exactly did they realize? What thought suddenly became impossible to ignore? What truth finally reached the surface after remaining hidden for so long? That answer is waiting. And it will be revealed in the next part. So stay close. Because this story is only beginning. The conversation happened. The thoughts were shared. The truth started emerging. But the biggest revelation has not yet been spoken. And when it finally is, everything will make more sense than ever before. Stay till the end of this journey. Because something huge is waiting for you. A quiet realization began to unfold. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What happened after your person shared their first thoughts about you was even more surprising than anyone expected. The conversation could have ended there. The moment could have passed. Everyone could have moved on to another topic. But that is not what happened. Instead, something unusual took place. Your person continued. And the deeper they spoke, the more everyone realized there was much more beneath the surface than anyone had imagined. A memory suddenly returned to them. Not a dramatic memory. Not a loud moment. Not something that would normally make headlines. It was something simple. Yet somehow, it had stayed with them all this time. And when they described it, their voice carried a different energy. An energy that revealed how meaningful that memory truly was. Don't skip. Because the next revelation changed everything. Your person began talking about the moments when you probably thought nobody noticed you. The ordinary moments. The quiet moments. The moments that seemed too small to matter. Yet those were the exact moments they remembered most. Think about that. While you may have forgotten those moments completely, they remained stored in someone else's mind. Not because they were forced to remember. Not because they had to. But because something about you made those moments unforgettable. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the conversation continued, someone asked another question. What makes this person stand out? The room became quiet. Your person paused. And then they gave an answer nobody expected. They did not talk about achievements. They did not talk about appearances. They did not talk about status. Instead, they spoke about your character. They spoke about the way you treat people. The way you carry kindness. The way you remain genuine. The way you stay true to yourself. And when those words were spoken, everyone listened carefully. Because those are the qualities that last. Those are the qualities that remain when everything else changes. And according to your person, those are the qualities they see in you. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Then came the most surprising part so far. Your person admitted that they had learned something from watching you. Nobody expected that answer. The question was about you. Yet somehow the conversation became about growth. About inspiration. About lessons. Your person explained that your actions had caused them to think differently about certain things. Not through speeches. Not through instructions. But through example. And that is powerful. Because influence is not measured by how loudly someone speaks. It is measured by what remains in people's hearts long after the moment is gone. And according to your person, something remained. Something important. Something unforgettable. The atmosphere shifted again. The conversation became deeper. More honest. More personal. And suddenly another truth emerged. Your person revealed that they often wondered how much you actually know about your own value. They wondered whether you realize the impact you have. They wondered whether you understand how many positive qualities people see in you. Because from their perspective, you sometimes underestimate yourself. You sometimes overlook your own light. You sometimes forget how much you matter. And hearing that truth changed everything. Stay till the end. Because the biggest revelation is still ahead. Then came a moment that nobody could have predicted. Your person smiled. Not because someone told a joke. Not because something funny happened. But because they remembered something about you. A specific moment. A specific memory. And for a brief second, that memory seemed brighter than everything else happening around them. That is when everyone realized something. This was no longer just a conversation. This was a collection of meaningful memories finally being spoken out loud. And every new memory revealed another layer of truth. Another layer of appreciation. Another layer of understanding. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The discussion continued. And then someone asked perhaps the most important question of all. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about them? The answer arrived immediately. No hesitation. No uncertainty. No confusion. Just clarity. And that clarity surprised everyone. Because it revealed how naturally your presence comes into their thoughts. How easily your memory appears. How strongly your impression remains. That answer became one of the defining moments of the entire conversation. A moment nobody forgot. Because it was real. Because it was sincere. Because it came directly from the heart. As the discussion moved forward, another unexpected truth appeared. Your person admitted that some people leave temporary footprints in life. But others leave lasting marks. And according to them, you belong to the second group. The group that remains memorable. The group that stays meaningful. The group that continues making an impact long after the moment has passed. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then something remarkable happened. The room grew quieter. The conversation slowed. Not because people lost interest, but because everyone was listening more carefully than before. Every word mattered now. Every thought carried weight. Every memory revealed another piece of the story. And then your person finally said something that nobody expected to hear. They admitted that there were things they had never said before. Thoughts they had never fully expressed. Appreciation they had never fully communicated. Not because those thoughts were absent, but because the right moment had never arrived. Until now. And suddenly, everything began making sense. The pauses. The memories. The reflections. The admiration. The respect. All of it connected together. Like pieces of a puzzle finally finding their place. Don't skip. Because the next part contains the revelation everything has been leading toward. A realization became impossible for your person to ignore. A realization that grew stronger with every memory they shared. Stronger with every thought they revealed. Stronger with every truth they finally spoke aloud. And that realization is about to change the direction of this entire story. The biggest truth has not been spoken yet. The most powerful realization has not been revealed yet. The most unforgettable moment is still waiting ahead. So stay close. Stay focused. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. And in the next part, the words your person never expected to say may finally come to light. A truth that could no longer stay hidden finally surfaced. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Everything that happened before led to this moment. Every memory your person shared. Every thought they revealed. Every detail they remembered. All of it was pointing toward one realization. And now that realization was impossible to ignore. The conversation had already become deeper than anyone expected. What started as a simple discussion had transformed into something much more meaningful. Your person had spoken about your character. Your presence. Your impact. Your authenticity. But now they were approaching something even bigger. Something that sat quietly beneath every word they had spoken. And everyone could feel it. The room became still. The attention became focused. And then your person said something that changed the entire atmosphere. They admitted that whenever they think about the future, your name somehow finds its way into their thoughts. Not because they force it. Not because they plan it. Not because they expect it. It simply happens. And that realization surprised even them. Don't skip. Because what happened next revealed even more. For a moment, they seemed caught off guard by their own honesty. As if they were hearing their own thoughts clearly for the very first time. Sometimes people carry feelings, admiration, or appreciation without fully examining them. Sometimes they know something is important without realizing just how important it has become. That was the moment your person experienced. A moment of clarity. A moment of recognition. A moment when hidden thoughts finally stepped into the light. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Someone then asked another question. A simple question. Yet it created one of the most unforgettable moments of the entire conversation. The question was, what makes this person different from everyone else? The answer arrived slowly. Not because your person did not know, but because there was so much they wanted to say. And when they finally spoke, every word carried meaning. They explained that you have a way of making ordinary moments feel significant. A way of leaving people feeling understood. A way of creating memories that stay alive long after the day ends. And according to them, that quality is rare. Very rare. Because many people are remembered for what they have. But only a few are remembered for how they make others feel. And that is where you stand apart. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. As the discussion continued, another surprising truth emerged. Your person admitted that they had revisited certain memories more than once. Moments they thought were long behind them. Moments they thought had already faded. Yet somehow those memories kept returning. And every time they returned, they carried the same feeling. The same appreciation. The same warmth. The same significance. That is when everyone realized something. You were not simply a passing thought. You were not simply a brief chapter. You had become part of a story that continued living inside their mind. And that story was still being written. Stay till the end. Because the most powerful revelation is getting closer. Then came a moment nobody expected. Your person stopped speaking. For several seconds, they simply reflected. As if searching through countless memories. As if revisiting moments nobody else could see. And when they finally spoke again, their words carried a new level of honesty. They admitted that there were times when they underestimated how much you meant to them. Times when they were too busy. Too distracted. Too focused on other things. Yet despite everything, your presence never disappeared completely. The memory remained. The appreciation remained. The connection remained. And that realization changed everything. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. At this point, the entire conversation had become something extraordinary. Nobody was talking about random events anymore. Nobody was focused on small details. Everyone was focused on one thing. The truth. And the truth was becoming clearer with every passing moment. Your person finally acknowledged that you had influenced their journey in ways they never expected. Not through force. Not through pressure. Not through grand gestures. But through consistency. Through authenticity. Through simply being yourself. And sometimes those are the most powerful influences of all. The conversation continued. The revelations continued. And then came the statement that nobody saw coming. Your person admitted that one of the reasons they remembered you so clearly was because you made them reflect on themselves. Think about that. Out of all the people they could meet, out of all the conversations they could have, out of all the experiences life could bring, you became someone who inspired reflection, someone who encouraged growth, someone who caused them to see things differently. That realization stunned everyone, because it revealed a level of significance nobody had fully understood before. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The discussion was nearing its conclusion. Yet strangely, it felt like the beginning of something new. The closer they came to the end, the more honest your person became. The more open they became. The more truth they revealed. And then it happened. The realization. The one realization that connected every memory, every thought, and every feeling together. Your person finally understood that what made you unforgettable was not one single quality. It was the combination of everything. Your kindness. Your resilience. Your authenticity. Your presence. Your character. Your ability to leave a lasting impression without even trying. And once they saw the full picture, they could not unsee it. Everything suddenly made sense. Every memory. Every reflection. Every moment they had described. All of it pointed toward the same conclusion. You mattered more than they had fully realized. Don't skip. Because the biggest moment of all is still ahead. There was one final thought your person had not yet shared. One final realization still waiting beneath the surface. One final truth that would explain why this conversation happened in the first place. And as they prepared to speak those words, everyone leaned in. Everyone listened. Everyone sensed that something important was about to be revealed. Because this was no longer about memories. This was no longer about observations. This was no longer about appreciation alone. This was about understanding. A deeper understanding that had taken a long time to reach. And in the next part, that understanding will finally be revealed. The final pieces will come together. The deepest truth will emerge. And the reason your person finally shared their thoughts about you will become clearer than ever before. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The final realization arrived at last. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Everything has led to this moment. Every memory your person shared. Every thought they revealed. Every truth they finally allowed themselves to acknowledge. All of it was preparing for one final realization. A realization so simple, yet so powerful, that once it appeared, nothing looked the same anymore. For a long time, your person thought they understood exactly how they felt. They believed they had already sorted through their thoughts. They believed they had already placed every memory into its proper place. But this conversation showed them something different. It showed them that there was more beneath the surface. Much more. And as they reflected on everything they had shared, a surprising truth emerged. The truth was not about one moment. Not about one conversation. Not about one memory. It was about the pattern. The pattern that had quietly existed all along. Don't skip. Because this changes everything. Your person realized that every time they spoke about you, the same themes appeared. Respect. Admiration. Appreciation. Trust. Meaning. Again and again, those qualities returned. No matter where the conversation started, it always seemed to arrive at the same destination. You. Not because anyone forced the discussion there. Not because they planned it. But because that is where their thoughts naturally went. And when they finally noticed that pattern, they could no longer ignore it. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For a moment, they became silent. Not because there was nothing left to say, but because they suddenly understood something important. They understood that some people enter our lives and teach us lessons. Some people enter our lives and create memories. Some people enter our lives and help us grow. But very few people do all three. And when your person reflected on everything they had said, they realized that you were one of those rare people. A person whose presence carried meaning. A person whose influence extended beyond ordinary moments. A person whose impact remained long after the day was over. That realization stayed with them. And the more they thought about it, the stronger it became. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Then came the most powerful moment of all. The moment everyone would remember. The moment that brought the entire conversation together. Your person finally admitted that the reason they kept remembering you was not because of coincidence. It was not because of habit. It was not because of chance. It was because something about you genuinely mattered. Something about your character stayed with them. Something about your presence continued to leave an impression. Something about your story remained unfinished in their mind. And once those words were spoken, everything became clear. The pauses made sense. The memories made sense. The reflections made sense. The appreciation made sense. Everything connected together. Stay till the end. Because one final truth remains. As the conversation reached its closing moments, your person shared one last observation. An observation that nobody expected. They said that some people spend their lives searching for authenticity. Searching for sincerity. Searching for people they can genuinely respect. And when they looked back at every thought they had shared about you, they realized those were the qualities they saw. Not perfection. Not impossibility. Not fantasy. Authenticity. And that was what made you unforgettable. That was what made your memory remain. That was what made your presence stand out. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Now the conversation was ending. Yet strangely, it felt like a beginning. Because your person was no longer wondering what they thought. They knew. The uncertainty had faded. The reflection had brought clarity. And the clarity brought understanding. A deeper understanding than they had before. One final realization echoed through their mind. Sometimes the most meaningful people are not the loudest. Sometimes the most impactful people are not the most obvious. Sometimes the people who change our perspective are the ones who simply remain genuine. And that was the realization they could no longer ignore. You had left an impression. A real impression. A lasting impression. And that truth finally revealed itself. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. If you have listened this far, remember this. The story was never about dramatic events. It was never about impossible claims. It was never about extraordinary circumstances. It was about recognition. Recognition of value. Recognition of character. Recognition of influence. Recognition of a presence that continued to matter. And according to everything your person finally shared, that recognition is exactly what happened. Their thoughts were spoken. Their reflections were revealed. Their appreciation became clear. And the truth finally reached the surface. The truth that had quietly been growing through every memory, every observation, and every reflection. The truth that your presence has mattered far more than you realized. And that is why this conversation happened. That is why these thoughts were finally shared. That is why this story unfolded. Because sometimes the most important revelations are not the loudest ones. Sometimes they arrive quietly. One memory at a time. One realization at a time. One truth at a time. Until finally, everything becomes clear. And today, for your person, everything became clear. Don't skip your own journey. Stay focused on your path. Stay open to growth. Stay true to who you are. Because the qualities that make a person unforgettable are often the qualities they least recognize in themselves. And perhaps that was the biggest revelation of all. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. And sometimes, that something huge is the moment you finally realize how much your presence truly matters.